My husband will find out I cheated. She screamed after begging me not to stop. I stayed quiet, got dressed, and walked out. A year later, a broken man sat in my office for legal advice. My wife's affair destroyed me. He sighed. I looked at the file with her name on it and smirked. So this all went down years ago. But it's one of those stories that just sticks with you. It started right after a long-term relationship ended. My ex decided she wanted to move back to her hometown. And just like that, it was over. I was living alone, feeling pretty disconnected, and ended up doing what a lot of lonely guys do. I started hanging out in online chat rooms. I wasn't really looking for anything, just a way to kill time and talk to another human being. That's where I met her. Well, call her Jane. We just clicked. 4 months. We just talked. I'm not talking about flirty, can't wait to meet you stuff. I mean, we really talked about our days, our jobs, stupid stuff we saw on TV. It felt like I was talking to a friend I'd known for years. She was open about everything, which made it easy for me to be open, too. It was comfortable. Then one day, she hit me with the invitation. You should come out to my neck of the woods sometime. She messaged. She lived in this small town about an hour and a half away. I rarely drive that far for anything. But honestly, I was curious. I wanted to see her town. And more than that, I wanted to see if the person I'd been talking to for months was real. The day we met felt completely normal. We went to a park, walked around for a bit, grabbed some lunch. The conversation was just as easy in person as it was online. No awkward pauses. No trying too hard. It just flowed. We got some dessert afterward. And I remember driving around the area, ending up by a river about 20 minutes from her place. Everything was low pressure. Just two people getting to know each other. We ended up back at her house, sitting on the couch in her living room. And that's when the vibe shifted. We were just chatting. And then she looked at me and asked a simple question. But she already knew the answer. Mind if I put my feet up? She said. With this little smirk. She slid them right into my lap. The thing is, it told her about my thing for feet. It was a detail I'd shared because I trusted her. Something my ex had always been weirded out by. My ex hated the idea of me touching her feet, massaging them, anything. It was a point of friction. A part of me I felt I had to hide. But Jane, she didn't just tolerate it. She offered. That little smirk was her way of saying, I know. And it's okay. Go ahead. In that moment, any wall I had left up just crumbled. It wasn't just about the fetish. It was about the acceptance. It felt like she saw a weird, vulnerable part of me and didn't just accept it. She embraced it. The air in the room got thick. Fast. What would you have done? After months of building a real connection, and then she gives you a green light like that? I felt like I'd finally met someone who got me. I had no idea what was coming next. My hand was on her foot, just gently rubbing her arch. And I could feel the temperature in the room climb about 20 degrees. It was more than just physical. It was the feeling of being completely accepted. After a few moments of this, she leaned in. It wasn't a hesitant, shy kiss. She pushed me back against the couch cushions, climbed right on top of me, and started making out with me like she'd been waiting months to do it. Which, I guess, she had. Things moved pretty naturally from there. We stumbled our way to the bedroom, shedding clothes as we went. We hopped on the bed and started off with a long session of 69, just getting to know each other's bodies. It felt incredible, totally in sync. Eventually, I moved on top of her. I put on a condom, and just as I was about to really get going, I felt that awful, unmistakable pop. It was over before it even began. Damn it, I muttered, pulling back. The mood was instantly broken. That's usually the end of the night. Or at least a very awkward fumble for a new condom. But she didn't seem fazed. She sat up, took the broken thing off me herself, and tossed it aside. She looked me dead in the eye, completely in control. Okay, she said, her voice steady. Get on your back. I'll get on top. Just do me a favor and let me know when it's time, so I can climb off. My brain processed this. It wasn't my ideal plan, but she was taking charge. And honestly, it was hot. It was also a clear, logical solution. I trusted her, so I did what she said. She climbed on top and started to ride me. And it was intense. She was grinding down hard. Her eyes closed. Completely lost in the moment. It was one of the most passionate experiences I've ever had. A few minutes later, I knew I was getting close. I did exactly what Shed asked me to do. I put my hands on her hips to get her attention and said, "Hey, I'm almost there." I was giving her the signal, fully expecting her to stop and climb off like we agreed. But she didn't. Her eyes shot open. But not in a panicked way. It was a look of pure intensity. She leaned down close to my ear. Her breathing ragged. "I'm about to come," she whispered. Her voice urgent. "Don't stop. Don't even think about stopping. Just let it go." What do you do in that situation? My entire brain was screaming, this is the plan we agreed on. But every signal from her body, her words, her tone, was screaming the opposite. She was the one in control. She just gave me a direct, explicit command. So I made a split-second decision. I trusted her. As she started to orgasm, I tightened my grip on her hips, just like she wanted, and completely let go deep inside her. For a second, everything was perfect. I could feel her body still clenching around me from her own climax. It seemed like she was enjoying it, almost forgetting that I wasn't wearing anything. Then, as our breathing started to slow, the reality hit her like a train. Her whole body went rigid. The first words out of her mouth weren't whispered. They were a gasp of pure panic. "Holy crap. You just came in me." Her words just hung in the air, completely disconnected from the reality of what had just happened. "Holy crap, you just came in me. I didn't want you to come in me." My mind was scrambling, trying to connect her words now to her words from 60 seconds ago. They didn't match. Before I could even form a sentence, her expression curdled from shock into pure terror. "Holy crap," she said again, her voice rising. "My husband will find out that I cheated on him. Fuck. I hope you didn't get me pregnant." Husband. The word hit me like a physical blow. She scrambled off the bed, pulling the sheet around her body like a shield, and basically shoved me out. "Get out," she hissed. "Get your clothes and get out." I was in a daze, grabbing my jeans and shirt off the floor. My brain was finally catching up. "Husband," I managed to ask, trying to keep my voice calm. "Why didn't you tell me you were married?" She wasn't listening. She wasn't having a conversation. She was just reacting. A cornered animal. "Just pray to God I'm not knocked up," she yelled, pointing at the door. "Hell, kick me out. Hell, take the kids." It was a torrent of panicked words, none of which were an answer to my question. I realized I wasn't gonna get one. I finished dressing, grabbed my keys, and walked out the door without another word. I didn't even hear it close behind me. The drive home was a blur of highway lights and the low hum of the engine. The hour-and-a-half trip felt like 10 minutes and a lifetime all at once. My mind was doing an autopsy of the entire day, of the past few months, searching for the clue I'd missed. I replayed everything. Our easy conversation in the park, the comfortable lunch, the way Shed invited me back to her place. It all seemed so genuine, so real. How could I have been so blind? And then it hit me. An image flashed in my head so clearly it was like I was standing back in her living room. The wall over her fireplace was covered in pictures. School photos of a couple of kids. Family vacation shots. And right in the middle, a bigger, professionally framed photo of her and a man. Both of them smiling. I remembered looking at it when she was in the kitchen getting us drinks. It asked who it was. "Oh. That's just my brother," Shed said, breezing past it. The casualness of that lie was chilling. It wasn't a brother. The way they were standing, his arm around her. It was a husband. A husband I never knew existed until I was being kicked out of his bed. She hadn't just omitted the truth. She had actively constructed a different reality for me to live in. It's funny. I spent the rest of the drive home thinking about that. I never, ever wanted to be that guy. The one who sleeps with a married woman. It goes against everything I think I stand for. And yet, when I think back on that day, before the last 5 minutes, I don't feel regret. The connection felt real. Being touched with such acceptance and passion was something I hadn't felt in years. I was lied to and manipulated. And my logical brain knows that. But the rest of me just remembers the feeling of being wanted. So, Reddit. I guess I'm asking for some perspective. I know I was put in an impossible situation based on a huge lie. But does it make me a scumbag that a part of me doesn't regret it?